break down those movements now. We've got Faheema Adia, who's equity analyst at Momentum Investments, joining us this evening. A very good evening to you on this rainy Thursday, Faheema. And let's start with the local bourse. It was really a bad start to the day for the JSE. I mean, it has ended off in the green, but I think it was about 0.2% in the green to end of the day. Talk us through some of the pressures that the JSE would have felt throughout the trading day today.
Good evening, Rafiwa. Yes, so quite a bit of mixed performance globally today across the board and a lot of volatility. Like you said, the JSE was trading in the red most of the day, but eventually closed marginally up. So it seems the volatility is being driven by continued concerns over global slowdown and possible recession. So yesterday we had the Fed in the US say that it expects interest rate hikes to continue until inflation is brought under control, and said so far there is little evidence that inflation in the US has peaked yet amid stronger than expected job numbers and also pretty resilient earnings coming through from the US. The market is expecting the Fed to hike rates by at least 75 basis points in November, and also pricing in further potential rate hikes in December. If we look at the oil price today, that was also up on the back of China relaxing its COVID requirements in terms of quarantining. And this comes despite the US planning to sell the remainder of its oil reserves. And then, of course, we had the resignation of Liz Truss just 6 weeks after she was appointed, which seems to have had a positive impact on the UK markets.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Liz Truss and the impact of that leadership instability we're seeing in the United Kingdom, Faheema, the long-term effects or the short to medium-term effects that market participants would be anticipating. I mean, we're seeing record inflation levels. The pound hasn't been doing too great, but the overall economy in the United Kingdom has been very unstable. And I suppose a large part of it comes on the back of what we're seeing in terms of the Russian invasion and global growth outlooks. But the economic story for the UK isn't a great one at the moment, would you say?
Yes, so it's been a very tough environment for the UK. Like you said, inflation has been sky high. I think they reported yesterday it came in at about 10%, very high energy costs there. And that mini budget that Liz Truss proposed earlier in the month obviously wasn't well received by the markets. And so on the back of all of that and the volatility that has caused, she's now said that she feels she's unable to deliver on the mandate under the Conservative Party and has decided to step away. So now there's going to be, I suppose, further volatility with upcoming elections in the next week to find someone to replace her. But it seems the markets have actually responded pretty well to her resignation. So the pound was up in response to the news, while the yields on bonds were down slightly, showing that the market responded pretty well to that. So it seems it was a step that was needed to be taken for credibility to be restored to the financial markets. But the new Prime Minister will probably have to do quite a bit to win back the trust from the UK markets.
Let's bring it back home now, Faheema, and some company updates. Cecil declaring force majeure this morning because of the implications of the strike. What are your thoughts on the announcement and really just the broader implications of disruptions to our national ports of entry?
Yeah, not a great day for Cecil. I think the share price was down almost 10%. So they declared force majeure on local supply and export of certain chemical products amidst that Transnet strike. As it said, it has stopped the movement of feedstocks and products between its operations and the ports. So the production at its Secunda and Sasolburg plants have also been impacted for the 3 months ended September. At this stage, they say they're unable to quantify the full impact and don't know how long the problem will take to resolve. However, on the positive side, it does seem that an agreement has been reached with Transnet and the majority union. So it seems that port and rail activities should start resuming in the next few weeks. But there are those other two minority unions that are still on strike.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you very much, Faheema Adia. As always, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Of course, she's talking about there. Sitawu is saying it's workers can go back to work, but they continue to engage Transnet on a higher wage increase for their members. Thank you very much for your time. And the other company news we were supposed to discuss, there was Clicks, which released an update today. Robust growth, but indicating that load shedding really hampered consumer spending, and that is reflected in their numbers. And that is